So to answer the question about how often I speak to my kids about their academics. For me, this is an everyday conversation. I spend hours daily, whether it's at home or in the library, just talking about academics. My oldest is an honor roll student, and my youngest is trying to get there. So with that, I believe it's imperative to instill a strong foundation with the understanding that academics is most important. Um, so whether it's mathematics or English, social stuff, whatever the subject may be, due diligence must be placed on that in order to let your child know that their uh, their education is just as important to you as it should be as important to them, or even more so for them. So this is a conversation I have on a daily basis. It's part of our daily conversation. How was school today? What work did you do? What did you struggle with? Stuff like that, and we'll take it from there. So, just to answer the question, whether or not I think these conversations have aided towards their academic success, I would have to say most definitely, and that is simply because we find we're having these check-in conversations as far as where you're stacking up in the first quarter, when it comes to third quarter, throughout the year, but you're constantly checking in, not just every day when you're doing homework or doing some reading or studies. The constant checking is, hey, what are your grades looking like? How many hundreds did you get? How many 90s? So where you're stacking up. So at the end of the year, you'll say, well, we know where we should fall out, as far as, the academic success. So I would say most definitely these, conversations are leading to a place of success academically for these girls.
It's helped me become successful in school since my parents are constantly on top of me and making sure I'm doing all my work and just, being very like on top of things. So basically, there's no room for me to like not do work or fall behind because they're just always there. I mean, it could be like annoying, but it does help me like ensure that I'm going to have a good future. Having involved parents, it does make it easier to talk about other things since they're with you every step of the way. So if like you want to talk to somebody about something, they're probably like the first person you turn to because like they're the first person there, like besides your friends, whatever. But like your parents are like always with you because that's family. So whenever you do have a problem, you can just turn to them because they're literally right there in your face. And because you're probably more comfortable talking to them since you're used to talking to them because they're involved and when it comes to parenting. So like they usually talk to you about certain things like reprimanding you and they're just always around either praising you or like telling you what you did wrong, whatever. So it does like help you feel more comfortable talking to them about certain topics.
Did having involved parents growing up lead to your overall success in college? I would say having my parents involved definitely was a big part in my success because my mom was always there pushing me, and my father was always there motivating me with gifts. As far as yes, if I was able to make honor roll or something like that, there was a gift at the end of the tunnel for me. So they basically motivated me to do well so I could get good stuff. You still speak with your parents about what's going on academic wise. So yes and no. I talk to my dad about it whenever he asks me about it when I'm home. He's like, how's school going? How's classes? I normally go on a little rant, tell him about all the things I dislike about school. So there's that. And with my mother, I'm on the phone with her often, and I talk to her about school more often because it's normally like as soon as something happens, I'll end up on the phone with her and I'll tell her about school, and she normally makes me feel better. Like everyone goes through these ups and downs, and yeah, so my parents call me. Has these conversations led to ones about your social life? Not really with my dad, but with my mom, yes. Because whenever I'm complaining about school or something, she'll say something like, oh, it's because you went to that party last week or something. Some nonsense she don't need to be saying. So, yeah, it does influence. These conversations go back to my social life because my mother at least, she feels like sometimes if I'm partying too much, that's why school's having issues or something like that. Overall, do you think their involvement from early has influenced you all, you and your parents, to have a positive relationship? I definitely think so. My parents never made me feel like too bad. They never, what's the word? They never made me feel like I was dumb. They never made me feel like the world was on my shoulders. They were always pretty like nice, mainly because of who I am, and they know I get things done. And I don't know, our relationship's pretty good, and they never pressured me too much, so it's always been good. We do have a positive relationship. I don't think that will change. I never even went through that rebellious teenage phase, so we're doing good.